All right. Welcome back to Character GPS, your guidance system for life. And last week we were working on part 1 of PR. And what does PR stand for? That's right, Elijah. Proactive responsibility. Hello. Come on in. So now, last week we learned what it is to be responsible and what it is to be proactive. Now we're going to learn how to do it. Okay? So if you remember, what are things that you're responsible for are things that you can influence. So for instance, Kaylee, are you responsible for the weather? No. Dylan, you're responsible for world peace. Sophie, are you responsible for the economy? No. So those are not your responsibilities, right? You may have to respond to the result of those things, how the weather is and the economy and all those kind of things, but your responsibilities are basically in 4 categories. Does anyone remember from our Family Feud what those 4 categories were? Elijah, what's one of them? Say again? Chores was one, right?
Basic hygiene.
Hygiene, right? Keep yourself healthy and clean. What's another one? Education, Vanessa. Number 1 answer. Very good. Serenity. Sorry, looking at 2 different people. And the last category was?
Taking care of your siblings.
Well, that would be good if some people don't have younger siblings, but that would be a very good one. That might be a chore that you have. Who gets you to bed on time? Who gets you up in the morning? You, right? You're responsible for your schedule, right? To get to where you need to be so you can do the things you need to do, all right? So those are your 4 areas of responsibility. So being proactive, we talked about pro means thinking ahead. Now, it seems common sense, right? Say, of course, Mr. Kane, you should always think ahead, but guess what? Many people don't do that. They just live moment to moment in survival mode, right? So we want to build on a proactive approach. We're going to teach you how to do it today, okay? So first of all, does anyone have their teaching sheets you took home last Wednesday, teacher folks? If you got it, show them to Miss Debbie, and she'll give you your bonus chips for that. All right, so it's like, don't make eye contact with the teacher. I forgot to bring it, okay? All right, you can bring it next week. You're going to use the back side of that to teach today's part 2, and then bring both sides, front and back, sign, and we'll give you your chips for that, okay? So today, we're going to teach you how to be proactive. We're going to do that kind of in a fun way. We're going to do an activity called Stab the Potato. Hopefully something that you've never done before. So I need 2 volunteers. All right, Elijah and one of our ladies who would like to step forward. Kaylee, come on down. Great, okay, come down and step down here. All right, so we are going to give them a potato, all right? Now these potatoes, Miss Debbie got really big potatoes this time. These are huge, right? Vanessa, would you say that's a solid potato? Would you agree with that? You can bang it on the table. All right, it is solid, okay? So they are going to hold these potatoes, and they're going to take these flimsy plastic straws, and they're going to stab through the potato, okay? And these are your everyone in the mill McDonald's straws, right? Dylan, would you agree it's hollow?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just a flimsy plastic straw. So their job, should they choose to accept it, is to see if they can stab all the way through this solid potato. You think they can do it? It looks pretty tough, doesn't it, right? All right, now, one thing we have them do, because safety is important, no one has ever been injured in this exercise in our 12 years in Character GPS, is you don't hold it like this, because if it goes through, what happens? Ouch, yeah. So you hold the potato on the side like that. So if you're like right-handed, you're going to hold the straw and then hold the potato. So hold it safely on that. Very good. All right. So now I'm going to give them these straws. And they're going to get one chance, just one stab. When I say on your mark, get set, go. You take one stab and see if you go all the way through that potato, okay? All right. Can you cheer these guys on? Give them at least,
You can do
come
it,
on, you can do it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay? When I say 1, 2, 3, yeah, hold it like that's the safe way to do it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, that's what usually happens, right? You take a stab at something in life, you haven't prepared for it, usually you're not going to be able to do it, right? Something that looks almost as hard as this. But we're going to teach you how to be proactive. We're going to train you that there's a technique that you can do that will give you a high probability of being able to get through the potato. All right? So, first thing is, this flimsy straw is a problem, right? How can we make this flimsy straw stronger? Journey, what do you think? How can we make this thing stronger? Any guesses? Well, if we put our thumb over the top of it as we stab the potato, what does that do if you put the thumb there? What do you think?
It stabilizes it.
Yeah, it traps the air, makes the straw more stable, stronger, right? So we're going to make the straw stronger. Now we got to deal with the potato, right? Now you notice when they took their stab, people when they stab, they stop at the potato. But you need to build great force to push the straw through the potato, right? What we call momentum, right? So what we want them to do is they're going to practice taking this straw and going, take it up and go swoosh. Okay, Miss Debbie kids me that swoosh helps, right? But you're going to go as hard as you can, go through the potato, past your leg. Build up speed like that. All right, so take your straw, put your thumb on top. Did your straw break? Yeah, it kind of got stuck. Let's get you a good, got to give you good equipment there, Elijah. All right, so we're going to have you practice trying to drive the straw as hard as you can. So put your thumb on top, all right, and just take a practice on the side of your leg here. Go whoosh, as hard as you can. Harder. Do it again. Harder. As hard as you can. Hard. All right. All right, you just want to smash that potato, right? So don't stop at the potato. Go all the way through. You got it? All right, so now you're going to hold your potato like you did before. All right, and this time now line up your straw and take it nice back and go hard as you can through. Look at that. She did it. Look at that.
Wow.
Give them a hand, both of them. Great. See, they did the impossible because they prepared for it. Okay, let me give you your chips here, guys. Thank you for being our volunteer. Now, what was the point of all that other than just to entertain you? Well, you know, I've always got a point, right? So here's the 3 secrets to success. We just demonstrated them. The first is you got to learn the right technique. So write that in your book. There's always a technique to do something your very best.
Pencils up.
Can you tell me right this?
Yeah. There's pencils up in that silver bag.
Yeah. Anyone else need a pencil? Yeah, just grab these pencils when you come in. Do you need a pencil? Are you all set? Okay. So, there's always a technique. That's for Kareem. That's just the updated. That's not all. Thank you. All right. So, if in baseball, there's techniques, right? How to pitch the ball, how to hit. Basketball, how to dribble, how to throw, how to shoot, right? Football, how to throw a pass, catch it. There's a technique. When you learn the right technique and you practice it, practice makes perfect, right? So if you practice, you build confidence. So you saw that both of them got up here and Kaylee and Elijah practiced until they felt confident, okay? That they could do it. Then, you what? Don't worry about the competition. You notice they weren't looking at each other. They were looking to do their best, right? You're just going to do your best in life. Don't worry about competing with anyone else. So don't worry about the competition. Don't get psyched out. Oh, do you think they're better than you are, something like that? Because if you think they're better than you, what's going to happen? You're setting yourself up for failure, right? Oh, I'm not good enough. They're so much better. Right? You're not going to do your best. You just say, hey, I'm proud of who I am. I've got whatever I need to do. I practiced, and now I'm going to do my best. We call it a personal best, like in sports, right? You run a race, you get your time, that's your personal best. And once you run that race, that's your baseline, then what do you try to do the next time? do a little better, right? A little faster. And each time you keep setting the goals for yourself. That make sense? So you push yourself, you motivate yourself by setting your goals and trying to beat your previous performance. So, technique, confidence, and competition. That sound good? 3 fundamentals to being successful in life. Now, we're going to apply the proactivity to it. So, in the moment, do you remember what proactivity says? What's the definition of proactivity? Can anyone read that to me? Who's got it? There is. It's like a mystery. Where did it go? It was there last week. Who's got the definition of proactivity? Kaylee, do you see it right in front of you there?
The power, freedom, and ability to choose your responses according to values.
Thank you. Exactly. Right? So we did this last time, right? It's choosing how you respond. The opposite is reactivity, letting your emotions take. If your emotions, are they going to do your best with your emotions? Probably not, right? Especially if you're angry and stuff. So to be proactive in the moment, you got to control your emotions, right? Not be fearful, be confident, right? So here it is. Focus on the task, write these in. Be confident, believe you can do it. Because if you don't believe you can do it, Journey, what's going to happen? If you don't think you can do it, what's going to probably happen? You're not going to do it, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy. So don't psych yourself out. So write these in your blanks there, okay? You see that on the page? Stab the potato, right? So now, if we can keep ourselves in the moment, proactive, right? Under control, you mentally then see yourself doing it. That's what athletes do. They mentally see themselves being successful, and then they physically do it. So if you've ever seen someone like putting, anyone done putt golf or anything, right? You kind of line up your putt, you mentally see how the ball is going to go into the hole, and then you physically do it, right? There's 2 creations, the mental creation and then the physical creation. Make sense? So that's all in the moment. But what do you do before the moment? You practice, that's right, you prepare. You learn the technique, so that's what we did up here, right? Kaylee and Elijah practiced the right technique. They could have asked questions, but they seemed to understand what was going on, and they practiced it repeatedly, however many times you think you need to be confident. So, firefighters, right? Do they just run into fires? No, they prepare. They don't know when the fire is going to occur, right? They prepare for the moments in life that they need to be successful, right? So 95% of the time, urban firefighters are training, and then when the fire drill goes, they go into action and they're prepared, they're ready. But in the moment, they got to keep themselves under control, right? Because, you know, life and death, it can be a little scary, but they control their emotions so that they can focus on being successful, right? With their frontal lobe, that their training kicks in to what they need to do. Make sense? So proactivity is 2 parts. In the moment and preparing for the moments in life. So if you really want to be successful in life, you should be always thinking ahead. Does that make sense? But a lot of people don't do it. I mean, it's common sense, but it's not common practice. A lot of people just live in the moment, right? Things happen and they just react to them. They're just surviving. But we don't want you as leaders to just survive. We want you to thrive, right? So when you prepare, then you're ready to be successful in the moments in life that it happens, right? You study for the test, you ace the test, right? You practice the sport, you win the game, right? You work really hard, you get the high school diploma, right? So everything is about working ahead, thinking ahead. So I tend to always kind of think ahead, especially like when I'm driving. I'm not just steering the car, I'm thinking, what are the other crazy drivers around me doing? Because there are crazy drivers out there, right? So you got to kind of be prepared for when it happens, right? Make sense? So if you can train yourself, if you can get in the habit of always thinking what the next step is, then you're ready for it, you'll do your best all the way through. And then you're going to not just thrive, not just survive, you're going to thrive, right? All right? So now we're going to apply this to bullying, okay? Now we all know that bullying's wrong, but here's a definition of bullying. The intentional efforts to put down, embarrass, harass, exclude, or make fun of someone that hurts and undermines a person's self-esteem. right? And bullying can be physical, it can be emotional. Sometimes the emotional is even worse, right? So bullying is something that is hurtful. We don't want to hurt people. We all know the golden rule, right? Anyone know the golden rule? Treat others the way you want to be treated, right? So if you don't want to be bullying, should you be bullying other people? No. If you see bullying going on, we want to stop it. So we're going to train you as leaders because bullying is a destructive behavior. But why do people bully?
Insecurity?
Exactly. The bully is insecure. You're not the person with the problem, it's the bully. Bully is insecure, so to feel good about themselves, they have to put someone else down. It's very sad, right? But that's the reality of what's going on. So watch this video here and see if this girl in the hallway here is proactive or reactive with the mean girls down the hall.
Oh, there she is. She's such a loser. I know. What a geek. Get lost. Word's heard. Don't be a part of it.
All right. Now, it's unfortunate that it happened, but did this girl, was she proactive or reactive with the bullies? She let them get to her, right? And that's what the bullies wanted, right? They wanted to get to her, make her cry, make her upset, right? Now, how many bullies were there? Three. Versus victim, one. See, the bullies are insecure, so they often get into groups and then they pick on someone they see as weak, usually someone by themselves, right? So this is kind of the scenario. So it's not a good thing at all, right? Now, could this girl have handled this situation differently instead of just letting the bullies get to her and she's running away? Right? Okay, so let's apply our proactivity, 2 parts. So in the moment, what could she have done? She's confronted by these bullies and they're, calling names, making her, trying to get a reaction out of her. What could she do? Sophie?
Beat them up.
Well, yeah, there's always consequences though. Because if you turn around and try to beat them up, that's when the teacher usually arrives and sees you beating them up. So who gets in trouble? You. And even if you get into a fight, you all get expelled, right? So usually beating them up is not a good strategy. So when I was Vice President of Human Resources, Raymond James, I had 10,000 employees. Did we recommend that if someone was bullying you that you try to beat them up? No, not a good strategy, right? So, but Sophie, you're trying to think of what can you do, right? What would be a more constructive way to handle the bullies? What's that? Yeah, say, hey, I don't appreciate. Just tell them first, because sometimes they, we're just kidding. We didn't. They'll claim they didn't really mean to hurt you or anything, but you first have to say, hey, I don't appreciate that, right? That gives them a choice, right? What else could you do? Any other ideas? Vanessa, if you were in that hallway, what would you do? If you have these mean girls picking on you, what would you do? You'd fight? Okay, well, there are better alternatives, okay? But maybe that's what you've lived with, right? Have you ever gotten into a fight? Do you ever get in trouble? You never got in trouble for a fight? Oh, of course you did, right? So there's consequences. All right, so Dylan, what's another alternative to fighting or just telling them to stop?
I guess walk away.
Walk away. And show that it doesn't bother you, right? Don't let the emotions take in. That's a great answer. Very good, right? So Serenity says, let them know that you don't like it. And Dylan says, walk away. What else could you do? Part of the walk away is you could ignore them, right? Don't give them any attention. They want attention, right? So you say, hey, I'm not going to let them bother me. Maybe you tell an authority, a teacher or someone, right? Because if they have the problem, they need help, right? Or they're going to keep picking on other kids, right? The problem has gone away, they're still insecure. So maybe getting a teacher involved, they might be able to find out what's wrong with this kid, right? Now, is there, though, a preparation? If you now know those girls are in the hallway and you're going to get a drink and go to your locker or whatever, what would be something in preparation you could do to handle the bully situation? Elijah, what can you do? Say something. Okay, so again, You could laugh at it, maybe, make fun of what they're doing, right? So write these in. What would you do? This is your strategy, right?
I didn't get a chance to punch his nose, but she had.
Oh, okay, so that's where we are, sorry. All right. Well, how about some of these ideas? Walk with some friends. There was 3 girls, so if you had 3 or 4 or 5 people with you, do you think they'd pick on you? Probably not, right? The numbers wouldn't be in their favor. Remember, they're insecure, right? Or maybe you have a teacher that's outside that drinking fountain and you can tell them ahead of time, hey, during third period passing, these girls stand there and they pick on people. Maybe they're having some kind of problem. So the teacher now is looking out, notices the girls doing the bullying, and takes care of getting them some help, right? Now, did you do a bad thing by reporting these kids? No, the kids need help. So you're trying to solve this problem and not let it affect you. Or go another route, right? Maybe you go to your locker second period or fourth period or whatever. You don't have to be in the hallway to be a target for these kids, right? Because remember, we're saying don't be a victim, right? Be a victor. So it just sometimes means you have to create some strategies to think ahead. Go at another time. So could be any of these things where you prepare, and then if they then change their behavior and you end up dealing with them, then you do your in the moment, you deal with them, right? But the key is you say, I'm not a victim, right? Do not be a victim. Don't buy into that you're a victim of the bullies, right? You're going to stand for yourself, right? You're proud of who you are. You know that bullying is wrong, and you know that they have the problem. So it's a matter of creating some strategies to deal with it. Now, there's some situations that get more extreme, but a lot of this is if you basically take care of business yourself, they don't get the reaction out of you. Are they going to keep bothering you? No, they'll go pick on someone else that they can get a reaction out of. Does that make sense? So, this is where we apply our proactivity to handling problems. Because you want to be, again, a victor, not a victim. That was one of the questions on the test, right? I am not a V, right? It's not a vampire, I'm not a victim, okay? So, it's time now to practice. Guess we don't practice makes perfect. So, how do you handle a bully? Someone who's like just kind of right in your face. I need 2 volunteers. Who would like to help me out here? Now, you don't all have to volunteer at once. It just takes 2 people at the beginning here. So, don't make eye contact with the teacher. Elijah, would you want to give us a shot? You don't want to give it a try? Sophie, you want to give it a try? Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta go. Those are my go-to here. Well, how about Dylan? Can you help us out here? You'll be one of our people. Okay, Dylan, give him a hand. I need one more person. All right. Kaylee, you want to give it a try? No. Vanessa. All right, this will be good practice instead of fighting. Okay, great. All right, so we're going to let Vanessa be the bully, and we're going to let Dylan be the non-victim. So she's going to start off. She's going to read what's in red, okay? And then when you hear that, you're going to respond with reading what's in blue, and then you'll immediately do this, okay? And as soon as you hear what is done, you're going to act that way. Okay, you can hang it up a little bit, okay? Okay, all right, now, you guys are the directors, okay? So these are the actors. We've already talked to their agents. We're all signed off, everything. You put your donuts down, right? You got to be the director. So directors do what? Ready and action, right? So put your hands together. Thank you very much. Journey, can you join in with us? All right, we'll have some fun. All right, actors, are you ready? All right, directors, ready and action.
I feel sorry for you that you have to cut me down to feel better about yourself.
And he turns and walks away. Were you expecting to feel sorry for you? You were picking on him, right? Yeah, see, the bully doesn't expect you to catch the bully off guard with a simple statement. Now, what Dylan said was, I feel sorry for you. The bully's not expecting you to feel sorry for them. They're picking on you, right? And then he told the truth. that you have to cut me down to feel better about yourself. Isn't that exactly what the bully's doing? So we're just telling the truth. But you don't stick around for an argument, right? He turns and he walks away, right? He disengages. The bully is left, like Vanessa was just speechless. She didn't know what to say, right, Vanessa? Yeah, she was right, like, put up your dukes. He was disarmed. He walked away. There was no fight. So if Vanessa didn't get a reaction out of Dylan, is she going to try that again? Probably not, especially since Dylan's a pretty big guy, right? Okay, so that is a simple way to handle kind of just a general confrontation. Okay, not something extreme, right? All right, let's try one more. It's not that hard now that they've shown you how to do it, and I got to give them chips for their efforts here. Thank you. Yeah. All right, need 2 more volunteers. Oh, Sophie. Sophie, okay, you're going to help us out. And Elijah volunteered you, so he's going to help too. So you two come on up here. All right, you're a great team. All right, who wants to be the bully now? All right, who's a taker? Who wants to be the bully? You're the bully? Okay, I know it's going to be a stretch. Okay, so nice and loud. He's going to read his script in red, right? Sophie, the confident non-victim, she's going to say nice and loudly, right? And then you're going to do this, right? And then when you hear that, you're going to act this way. Okay, you can ham it up a little bit. All right? Okay, our actors have been prepped. All right? This could be a big Academy Award-winning performance here, right? All right, directors, put your hands together. Are you ready? Vanessa, are you ready for us? Hands together. Ready, and action!
You gave your actually good in class. You were so stupid.
I feel sorry for you that you have to put me to feel like this way.
And she walks away, right? She didn't take the insult. Weren't you expecting her to be insulted and all indignant and have to defend herself, right? But instead she felt sorry for you, Elijah. Were you expecting that? I don't think so. So was Sophie proactive or reactive with the situation? What do you say, guys? Proactive, right? She was prepared. She knows how to handle bullies. That's kind of simple confrontation. And so probably Elijah's going to find someone else to pick on, right? Maybe Vanessa or someone else maybe want to fight, right? But you see how it can be as simple as that. Now we've had students who have struggled with bullies, and when they've done this simple thing, they felt confident. I'm not afraid of the bully. They have the problem, and I have something that I can say simply and walk away and feel good about myself, right? And then the bully picks on someone else, or maybe they listen to the words, and maybe they start to realize, maybe, why am I doing this, right? So, we don't need to be a victim to bullies. We need to be proactively prepared. Because I hate to say it, in life, there are bullies, right? There's bullies at school, there's bullies in the workplace, there's bullies in the neighborhood, there's adult bullies we've had to deal with. There's difficult people. But again, you're not a victim, right? You decide, how am I going to handle this? We strongly urge you not to fight, because usually that doesn't produce a good result. Okay? So you're going to step up as leaders. You're going to kind of model a behavior that kind of calms the situation down instead of heating it up. All right? So listen now. This is a girl who's been bullied. You can tell how it's felt to her, what effect it's had on her.
Hi, I'm Bella Thorne, and I've been bullied my whole life. It started when I was about 5 or 6, and it was before school, because I spoke Spanish, that's my first language, and everybody called me weird because I didn't speak like everybody else. So I completely dropped Spanish to fit in so that people would stop calling me names. And now I have to try to retake Spanish because I want to learn it. And that's the cause of bullying. Then it continued just for something different. It's because I wasn't able to read as everybody else. People called me dumb and stupid. And now, to this very day, I get really nervous and I can barely read in front of a large crowd. And that was because I was dyslexic. I'm taking a stand against bullying because it's wrong and hurtful, and it can harm everybody in different ways. Will you take one with me?
Okay, so bullying really occurs when people let it occur, right? And we've worked with lots of schools and everything that were bullying problems. And when we came and trained the leaders, you guys, right? And they started standing up for people like, hey, we don't bully at this school, right? We don't bully at, Seminole Heights, right? The bullying stopped. It wasn't just the teachers, it was everyone realized that we can all stop bullying, right? But we got to call each other, we got to be convinced that it's a real problem, right? We got to take a stand. When you take a stand, good things happen. Now, if you don't know what you stand for in life, have you heard this? You could fall for anything. People that they don't really have thought through what's important, and so they're easily influenced by other people, for good or bad, right? But if you know what you stand for, you know what's right or wrong, and you stand for it, good things start to happen, right? You start stopping the negative behaviors. You guys are leaders, right? You can start to affect the environment you're in, whether it's at home, school, work, whatever it might be. Maybe there's a worker at your place of employment who picks on someone else. And you say, hey, we don't pick on each other here at, Papa John's, whatever it is, right? And your boss will appreciate that. They'll give you the promotion. They'll give you the team leadership position because you are taking a stand for the right thing. Make sense? All right, so we're going to now let you take a stand. We're going to give you a statement. If you think it's true, I want you to stand up and take a stand. If you think it's false, you then can remain seated. All right, you ready? Okay, here we go. Here's your first statement. Bullying is wrong. If you know it's wrong, stand up. Is bullying wrong? Okay, excellent. Hey, you guys, everyone has it, right? So just kind of, again, Kaylee, in your own words, what's wrong with bullying? Everything. Yeah. There's nothing good about bullying. I like that, okay? So specifically, Serenity, what's something wrong with bullying? What do you think? Why would you say we should not be bullied? Don't sit down because I got several more questions, okay? Stand up with me. Stick with me here. So what's wrong with bullying?
People get picked on.
Yeah, picking on people. That's not nice. You know the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated, right? Okay, so here's your second statement. Remain standing if you think it's true. Sit down if you think it's false. Here we go. I am a helpless victim to bullying. So if now you don't know how to handle bullying, then stand up. Otherwise, if you know how to handle bullying, other than maybe fighting, right, take a seat. Look at that. All right, everyone feels that they know how to handle bullying, right? So again, Vanessa, other than fighting, what would you do to handle a bully? What have we done here? You prepare for it, right? So you come up with a strategy. Either I'll ignore them, I'll walk away, or I'll say something, hey, I don't appreciate whatever it is, right? Okay? Or you tell an authority who can help that person, right? Now, Dylan, you're still concerned because bullying is a problem, right? All right. So far, what you've seen of the strategy of thinking through what you would do, do you feel now that you at least have some tools to work with? Yeah, see, now you're not helpless anymore, okay? And you can even talk about this issue if it's in an environment, if it's at home or, school or work, right? You can talk to people about it because you know it's wrong. Very good. All right, now I'm going to do a demonstration for you guys because often seeing something is better than just talking about it. All right, so I've got this wonderful glass of water that Miss Debbie has poured for me. Thank you so much. Thirsty, quenches the thirst. That is delicious water, right? Now,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I need to see Michaela Lake. She has somebody here to see her.
okay, is it urgent?
Well, how much longer is this going to be?
Well, we're finishing class, so.
I'll ask her if she can wait. It's
Okay.
something that she had made an appointment to see her and everything. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to take this little bottle of sewage, raw sewage. Awful sewages, right? You don't want sewage, right? Not nice, okay? I'm going to put just one little drop in this beautiful water, okay? One drop, just a little drop, right? Tell me what you see happen. Does that little drop just stay where it is?
No spreads.
It spreads, right? So this is kind of like your life. You can have a good reputation, but guess what? You decide to lie, one little lie, but what does it do? It changes your reputation.
I'm
Yes.
so sorry, it is urgent, she
Okay.
needs to, yeah.
Okay.
Need to come to the office, okay?
Alrighty.
Thank you.
So, do you see what my point is? Some people think, oh, just telling a little lie, that's okay, right? Not going to hurt anybody. But who's it hurt? Number one, it hurts themselves, right? Their reputation. But the lie spreads. It often affects the people around you, right? So, if a kid, for instance, becomes known to be a liar, how does it affect their parents? Not good, right? Because your parents, they're responsible for you. You're a minor. They're supposed to be teaching you the right way to live, right? And so they have to represent you to teachers or employers if you're a minor or whatever it might be, right? Well, they don't want to have to deal with your lying. They would rather do what? Trust you, yeah, that you tell the truth. We're proud of you. You tell the truth, even when it's tough, right? Wouldn't that be great if you were a truth keeper, right? Even when it was tough. Well, we had a situation, we had a judge who was on our board, Judge Rex Barbas, and he would tell stories that would go on in his courtroom with juveniles, right? So this one kid was caught with drugs in his pant pocket, okay? And so he came into the courtroom to face the judge, right? Now, he was thinking, well, this kid's his first offense, I'll probably just give him a slap on the hand and tell him, hey, make better choices kind of thing, right? But he was surprised by this kid's response. When he asked, are you guilty or not guilty? And the kid said, I'm not guilty, Judge. The judge says, the drugs were in your pants that you were wearing. How could you be not guilty? And the kid said, not my pants. You didn't take any responsibility. With someone else's pants, it's someone else's fault. You know people like that? They'll blame their parents, they'll blame their teachers, they'll blame their brother and sister, they'll blame whoever they can. They don't take responsibility themselves, right? So the judge was going to give just a little slap on the hand for this kid, right? Give him a little diversion or something, kind of get him thinking, not to make the mistake. But instead, when the kid just out and out lied and took no responsibility, what did the judge do? Gave him the harshest sentence the law would allow. Said, hey, this kid needs to wake up. He's not in reality. The drugs are in his pant pockets. He's got to take some responsibility for what he's doing, or he's never going to get on track, right? So it's so much better to tell the truth. You ever heard that saying that honesty is the best policy, right? Is be convicted that I'm not going to try to cover up, I'm not going to try to lie my way out, because especially teachers, parents usually, judges, they've heard all the lies in the book. They can tell every lie, before even the person says it, right? You don't lie to these people because then they realize you really need a punishment to get back on track, to wake up to reality, right? But if that kid had said, Judge, I'm so sorry, I really made a mistake, I'm never going to do this again, I really apologize for having done this. Now Judge Barbas could be gracious, right? Okay, I hear what you're saying. This is your first time. So what are you going to do not to do this again? Okay, we'll then let you go, all right? So be gracious in taking responsibility. Own up to it, right? And usually the punishment will be far less than lying your way through it, right? Especially if you lie and you try to get your parents or your teacher or your employer, you lie to your employer, try to get them to believe you, and then they find out the truth. When they find out, then what happens?
Could get fired.
They're really angry. Yeah, the boss fires you. I can't trust you, right? We don't want you on the team, right? Parents say, man, you let us down, you lied. We told all these people that we believed in you. You made us look like fools. It's tough being a parent, right? Teacher, hey, how can I trust you, that you're going to keep lying to me? Right? See, lying usually has severe consequences, not just to yourself, but to the people around you that want to believe in you. Is that true? But we're human, right? We make that mistake. But we often don't realize that it taints your whole life, right? Now, they've done research where they've actually scanned the brains of what we call pathological liars, people that there's such a habit of lying, they lie all the time. Normally, your information in your brain is stored sequentially, okay? So information is like in a line, right? Because you remember this happened, this happened, this happened, or you can tell a story of what happened, right? But pathological liars, their information is stored in little packets. so they can rearrange it and make up different stories. You know, oh, Judge, I didn't do that, this and this. Well, they scramble their brains. After a while, they don't even know the truth anymore. They've ruined their memory by the constant lying. Isn't that terrible? Man, you don't want to have scrambled brains. But that's what happens to people that get in the habit of lying. That's why it becomes habitual, right? They can't stop themselves. Because now that's just the way their brain operates. So, I'm going to ask you 2 more questions now. All right, take a stand, you think it's true. Sit down if it's false. Are you ready? All right, here it comes. Telling a lie is wrong. Just in itself, telling a lie is wrong. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so why is telling a lie wrong? Affects everyone.
It can have bad consequences.
Bad consequences. Okay, it affects everyone around you, and who does it really hurt? Yourself, your reputation, right? All right, so I'm just checking in with Elijah. Okay, Elijah, you weren't standing up. Okay, hold on a second. So what do you think, why is telling a lie okay? Okay. Well, you know what's interesting? Remember we talked about Abraham Lincoln? What was his nickname? Honest Abe. Because he always found a way to tell the truth. If you build the habit of telling the truth, people will trust you, right? But if people know that you lie, then when are you going to believe them, right? All right, so here's my second question. Stand up if it's true, sit down if it's false. Here we go. Telling a lie doesn't really hurt anybody. Stand up if you think that's true, doesn't hurt anybody. Sit down if you think it hurts somebody, including yourself. Okay, so we all agree it hurts somebody, right? Some lies have greater consequences than others. But the problem is it's a slippery slope, right? You start building the habit of lying, you start to become that pathological liar. You're going to scramble your brains. And after a while, you're not even going to remember what the truth is anymore. That's a terrible way to live, right? Defeating behavior. So, the thinking on this is find a way to tell the truth. Be a truth keeper. Have that reputation. So even when something happens and it is like, oh, this is unbelievable what happened, but Dylan, hey, I know he always tells the truth, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Even though it's hard to believe. But if it's not hard to believe, and I know that this person lies, I'm just going to assume that they're lying, right? See how you do that to your reputation? So as leaders, you want to be trustworthy, right? If you have a job and you're known for lying on the job, what's the boss going to do? They're going to find, they don't want liars. They want people that they can count on. What happened with this customer? What happened with this order? They need to know the truth so they can deal with it. But if you're going to lie and cover up and so on, they don't know what's going on, right? They have to be able to count on you. Wouldn't it be great if your parents could trust you because they knew that you'll tell the truth, you'll fess up with them even when it's hard, right? So that when they go to defend you, they're not going to look stupid because it really was a lie, right? So the key is to build that reputation in your life. So we all know the story of the boy who cried wolf, right? You remember the Aesop fable? So the boy's watching the sheep for the village, and the villagers say, hey, we're all going to do our work, but if the wolf shows up, we'll all come and support you, right? So the boy, of course, it's boring being a sheep herder usually, right? Okay? So when people are bored, sometimes they do stupid things, right? So he says, oh man, I'm all by myself here. Maybe I can get the townspeople to come out here, right? So he yells, wolf, 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 and he sees all the people coming running, ha, 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 I think that's so funny, right? But the townspeople don't see a wolf. How do they feel about it?
Upset.
They're upset. Hey, we trusted you, right? We're here to help you, but if you're going to pull games on us, man, that's terrible, right? So they all go back. So the boy gets bored again, right? Bad habits, right? And so he's thinking, I bet I could pull them out again. It would be really funny to see, if they come a second time, right? So he goes, wolf, wolf, wolf. They all come running out. There's no wolf. Now the townspeople are what? Beyond angry. They're furious. Hey, you did that to us before. We told you not to do it. You can't be trusted. And they all walk away. Well, then guess what? The wolf shows up, right? Now he needs them to believe them, right? Wolf, wolf, I really mean it this time. Wolf, wolf. He's ruined his reputation, right? Who did that to him? Himself, right? So you get to choose. How do you want to live your life? Do you want to have a great reputation where other people trust you and you even trust yourself, right? Pathological liar doesn't even trust themselves because they know that they're liars, right? They'll lie about lying, you know? That's the funniest thing. You talk with some kids and you say, well, you're really not good to tell lies. Oh, I never lie. Well, that's another lie right there. You know, we're human, right? So the key is that you don't want to have people have to detect your lies, right? Because if they're in lie detector mode, especially parents, teachers, you know, judges, you know, there's consequences, right? And when you lie, people won't trust you anymore. But the worst of it is that that reputation can carry with you for a long time, right? In this day and age, with social media and everything, our reputations are becoming more and more public, right? So you get labeled a liar, you know, untrustworthy, it can have long-term ramifications. Do you agree with that? So this is you're at the perfect time in your life to say, I'm going to manage my life, I'm going to manage my reputation, and it starts with me. Make sense? Your life can be so much better. So, we know Honest Abe worked hard. It's short-term hard, but then when you have a reputation that's good, lifetime easier, right? You don't have to defend yourself every time because they know, oh, Vanessa, she always tells the truth. You know, we don't have to go into that again, right? She's demonstrated that. She's trustworthy. Once you got that reputation, you get the benefit from it, right? So, the practical joker, okay, that's the class clown, you know, makes fun of people for their own amusement, right? It's not practical at all. It's kind of like practical, meaning not practical, right? It's destructive. It hurts the person that's being picked on. It's a form of bullying, right? But the worst thing is, how do people look at the practical joker? Class clown. They don't trust him. They'll never give him a job, never put him in a position of responsibility or authority, right? Because they know that he's a joker. He's just playing around at the expense of other people. But do you know people who make fun of other people for their own amusement? Right? That's really hurtful. Now, you could be clever and tell funny jokes, but they don't have to be about hurting someone else in the process. See what I'm saying? So this is our opportunity to be sensitive as leaders that you don't want to do that. Because at Raymond James, I did not hire people that had I checked their references. If I got anything about that they were liars or they were, you know, jokesters or so on, that resume went in the trash can. We're not dealing with that kind of drama. We're dealing with people that we can trust and count on, right? Help us be productive. So, we don't need to be in bullying. But people that lie, people that bully, even when they know it's wrong, sometimes they won't change. Why is that? What's that four-letter word? Fear. What are they afraid of? Failure, that maybe they can't do it. But you know what fear stands for? Write this in. False evidence appearing real. So people often lie because they think they're going to get in big trouble. So rather than get into trouble, they'll make up lies about it. When actually, they might actually get a better outcome if they actually were honest and told the truth. And then their parents would say, hey, I'm really proud of you. You told the truth in this tough situation, right? Now, here's an example of fear controlling you. I'm standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon, okay? Anyone been to the Grand Canyon? It's huge, right? Standing there, you can get a little bit overwhelming, right? You start sweating and stuff because you're afraid of what? Falling. But are you falling? So it's false evidence appearing real. So instead of sweating and getting fearful, just take a step back, right? Fear is an alarm system. It lets you know that something's not safe. If you can handle it, if you can handle heights and stuff, then you can get a nice, good look down there, right? But if it feels uncomfortable for you, just take a step back. So don't let fear control you, but use fear as a warning sign of am I making good decisions? That make sense? So you don't want to have fear control you, but that's what often victims of bullies do. They're afraid of the bully. They're afraid, oh, if I tell someone, then they're gonna pick on me more or something. You know, remove the fear and handle the situation in a good, responsible way, right? So this is our opportunity to take control of our lives. But, kind of summing up, why do people tell lies? They're either afraid of punishment, or looking stupid, or they're not good enough, right? So they embellish, they don't want to be embarrassed, right? You ever heard people lie about, oh yeah, I've been to Hawaii, I've been to, Europe. They try to make themselves seem more important. But going to those places, does it really make them more important? No. And when people find out that they're lying about it, then they think they're really stupid, right? So the best approach is, instead of trying to talk your way out of a punishment, tell the truth. Because usually the outcome will be better. You may have to receive the punishment, right? But people will respect you, you'll respect yourself, and then you'll really learn the lesson, right? But people that talk their way out of the punishments and they keep doing the same thing, expecting that they can talk their way out. You know people like that? They think they can talk their way out of any situation. And then reality comes in and knocks them over, and usually it's really bad, right? It's when they needed a job, when they needed, to be able to buy a house or a car, or, they wanted to marry somebody, right? And they lied to them. Boy, you don't want to lie to a potential spouse, right? So Miss Debbie and I, we have an agreement. We're going to tell the truth, right? Apologize when we make mistakes, right? Forgive each other. Because a marriage is the joining of two givers and two forgivers, right? We're not perfect, right? So we just own up to it. You don't need to look stupid, because lying is really stupid. It gets you into more trouble. One lie leads to the next, right? And you're on this slippery slope, and after a while, you and other people are in trouble. So, do you see why lying is not the good policy? But why do people do it?
So they won't have to consequences.
Yeah, fearful, right? They're controlled by fear, and it's easy. Often it's easy to tell lies, right? The harder part is to tell the truth. But short-term hard, long-term easy. But if you want short-term easy, life becomes long-term hard. Make sense, right? You study for the test, you ace the test. You practice hard, you win the game, right? But if you don't study for the test, you just take the easy way out. Serenity, how do you do on the test? If you're not prepared, you're not going to do your best. You may barely pass, or you may fail, right? If you don't practice hard for your sport, and then you go to play the game, what happens in the game? You lose, right? Too bad, gee, now I wish I had practiced, right? So we short-term hard, long-term easy. So that's why you guys are in this class. You're learning, you're taking the time to invest 1 hour each week in your success for life. I'd say it's a great investment. I'm very proud of you, and you'll be really glad when you get all these tools together, okay? So, here's kind of the summary of the program. So in your books, we believe that you can be responsible. You now need to believe it, right? That I am a responsible person. Because what's the alternative? Oh, poor me, I'm a victim. You know people like that? They always want to blame everyone else. They feel sorry for themselves, right? They don't take ownership for handling the situations in life. So they never grow up, right? And then they wonder why they're not successful. We believe that you can be proactive. We've just given you lots of tools, but now you've got to practice it, right? It takes 30 days to build a habit. So starting to think ahead each day, doing your very best. Okay. How about the alternative of being proactive? Why bother? Just react. Just go with the flow. Be a weather vane. Do what everyone else is doing. Right? Elijah, is that going to go well for you? No. So proactive, preparing, thinking ahead is going to get you the best results, and people will notice it, and they will hire you. They'll put you in positions of leadership, right? And you'll gain the benefit that people will trust you. We believe that you guys are capable, right? That you can do it. You're going to learn that in the next adventure, CD can do. But some people say, only do what comes easy. Just take the easy road, right? But then you never build the confidence to be able to handle the difficult things in life, right? So, what does that come down to? Build these habits. Be responsible. Be proactive. Be capable, right? Believe in yourself. Life is so much better. The alternative is being a victim, You don't put any effort in. You know people like that? They're just easy road and they're just not, they're spinning their wheels. They're stuck. They're not going anywhere, right? You guys are going somewhere. We're excited about your future. And you're going to continue to discover this as we go through the program. So, don't let your bad habits control you. Because who should be in control of your life? You or your bad habits? You, right? You can change your bad habits. But you have to be willing to work at it. Okay? So, we don't need to cover up. We can take life one step at a time, learn from our mistakes, and do better. Make sense? All right, so we're going to kind of end with a little video clip. Okay, who is known to be a liar? What occupation do people lie all the time? How about used car salesmen? You heard that, right? They always want to lie, say, oh, this is such a great car. They don't want to tell you it's been in all these accidents, all these things wrong with it. Because what are they trying to get? Money. As much money as they can from you, and then when you drive off the lot, you find out later that they swindled you, right? So, here's a clip of a used car salesman who's decided that that's not working for him. That his reputation is so bad, and he really doesn't even like himself, right? So he's going to go apologize to his former customers, and to show that he means it, he's going to give them some money back, right? That kind of put, your money where your mouth is, right? He's going to see these people will forgive him and then change his reputation. Because now they'll talk about, hey, you know that car salesman? He gave money back to me. Whoa, I think you can trust that guy now, right? So watch and see what happens. Here we go.
I can't believe what I'm about to do.
He's not sure about this, right? Nervous. So here's his first customer that he cheated.
Yes, may I help you?
Is right?
Yes.
I'm Jay Austin. I sold a car to you about a year ago.
Yes, I remember.
And, I overcharged you for that car. And,
What?
I came to give you a portion of that back. And I want to say I'm sorry for doing that. And, to ask you to forgive me.
This is $1,500.
I believe that that's what I would have owed you had I been honest about the same. I'm sorry about that.
This is an answer to my prayer. I got laid off my job today. Thank you so much.
Wow. Is she forgiving him?
Thank you so much.
And it just turns out the timing couldn't have been better, right? Just when she needed the money. He's kind of blown away. Wow. So he's going to now try the next one. Is he being forgiven? Are people happy about it? Yes, they are, right? People will forgive you if you're sincere, right? That you're saying, I want to change my ways, I want you to believe me, I want you to trust me. Now, some people may misunderstand. This girl thinks she runs a contest.
You're giving me $1,000?
I am.
Why? I agreed to buy it at that price.
Right, but the information I gave you on the truck wasn't entirely accurate. You bought the truck on what you thought it was worth. I apologize for that.
But it don't make sense that you just give $1,000 back. Why would you do that?
I guess the best way to explain it is that I won't have to replace it.
So you're just giving us $1,000 back, no strings attached?
If you'll take it.
Oh, we'll take it.
That ain't your money. I bought the truck.
Well, then you better take it. The man's trying to give it to us.
Listen, you watch your mouth. This is business.
This ain't business. He's
Reactive
trying to give
behavior.
us free money.
He's giving me free money.
He doesn't want to be part of the
You
drama.
don't share that with me, you're going to be making your own deal.
Woman, I can buy $1,000 worth of bean dip.
But I'll find you and get them.
Man, I appreciate it. And I'm sorry for calling this kind of stuff a negative when I bought that truck.
I don't remember that.
He He's a liar. He can't remember what he said or hasn't said, right?
Well, I appreciate that. You guys have a great night.
That's why he's so reactive. All right. So he's calling his wife. She was kind of worried about him. Let us know that it's gone pretty well.
Judy, you would not believe how easy this has been. Yes. People have been blown away when I come to see them. It's been incredible. One girl thinks she still won a contest. I thought I have to eat crow, but this is cake. Huh? I'm not being prideful. I'm not being prideful.
Not everyone
You
will let you
what?
off the hook that easy.
You cheated me.
Well, I mean, I just wasn't very honest about
So
it.
you think you can waltz right in with a $1,200 check and expect me to accept what you've done?
Well, I'm sorry for what I did.
You better be sorry. You know how hard it is to make in this world today.
Uh-huh.
The last thing we need is a dishonest person taking advantage of old ladies.
Ma'am.
Don't you interrupt me. I've been working 40 long years for every penny I got.
That's right.
Then a scam artist like you tries to take it away. You better give me an apology.
Well, that's why.
Don't you talk back to me. I'm tired of the lies, the deceit, the confection, and everything else.
The confection.
Don't you sass me. You keep your mouth shut till I tell you to open. Amen. Now say you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
Now get out of here and
Now
go
she's
get right
really
along
mad.
before I get you right with it. Bye. Oh, sweet Jesus. 1,200.
So she was just giving him a hard time, right? Because some people don't want you to think that, oh, you could just be forgiven quickly and it's all good, right? They want you to kind of work a little bit for it, right? But she obviously got the message, right? And she was glad to get the money back. So the opportunity is yours, right? You can take control of your life. It's your choice. In the past, whatever has happened, but today is the first day of the rest of your life, right? You get to choose now the direction going forward. So we're going to have you do an action plan to apply what you're learning, right? So it's not just head knowledge, but actually changes your life. So we're going to give you the opportunity to write a plan for someone that you want to trust you, okay? But maybe you told a little lie, or you didn't tell the whole truth, or right? So think of someone that you recently kind of told a lie to maybe get out of trouble or something, right? So here's an example. One of our students, his name was Stephen, and he was on his computer. His dad said, "Hey, you do your chores." And he said, "Yeah, sure, Dad," right? Because he didn't want to stop his playing. Well, the dad obviously knew he hadn't done the chores because they're not done, right? But he was concerned. Well, gee, if I go apologize to him, he might be mad at me. You know, the fear factor, right? Well, Dad already knows he lied, so it's better to fess up and tell the truth, right? But he said, okay, if it's hard to confront him, can you write a note? He said, yeah, I'll write a note. And he wrote this really nice note. Sorry, Dad, I promise now to get my chores done first before I play on the computer. And thanks for putting a roof over our head and food on the table. Now, when his dad read that note, what do you think he thought of his son? He could trust him. He was proud of him. He actually brought that to our graduation. We still have the note because he was so proud of his son changing his approach, right? So the opportunity is you can look in the mirror and do you want to be proud of the person you see or do you want to carry guilt, right? So this is our opportunity, like man in the mirror, right? You want to be proud of the leader you're becoming. So go ahead, write an action plan. Under the who is it you're going to apologize to? What are you going to apologize for? Big or small, right? Doesn't matter, it's just trying to apologize. When are you going to do it? Next year? Next month? When should you make the apology? Today! Yes, serenity, that's worth the chip, right? So today, you're going to make this plan. If you can talk to them tonight, right, so you don't have to carry any more guilt with you. And then what's the outcome? You want them to trust you, right? So the goal, write the goal there, build trust. That's the easy part, right? So today, build trust. So who is it that you want to have a trusting relationship with? And then think about it. Is it mom, dad, brother, sister, friend? Maybe you didn't kind of tell the whole truth, so you kind of fess up because you want them to trust you, okay? Okay, raise your hand as soon as you got it. We'll give you chips for writing your action plan. You guys have done great today. Hey, all right. Yes. Oh, and I forgot, we were going to give chips to all the people who did their mentoring. So that would be 5 chips for Serenity. Great job for doing your mentoring. So remember, keep meeting with them each week. 5 chips for Kaylee, good job, right? 5 chips for Vanessa. Great job, Vanessa. And Dylan, you got to meet with Mr. Phelps, right? Not today, but you met with him. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, just what you need to do is print out the summary page. So when you finish with him, just say, hey, pull it up and have him print that for you and put it in the front of your book. That way, we will give you credit. But he told me personally that you did it. So you just put it in the front pocket of your book. So when you do your mentoring this week, print that out. Okay? Sophie, you did excellent. Sophie gets 5 chips. Elijah, Brother Cedric said you did your mentoring. Great job. There you are. Okay, and then Junie, you're going to get with Mr. Cannon and do your mentoring. Yeah, if you can pull that out of your front pocket, she did the Myers-Briggs so we can see what her natural talents are. Thank you very much. Great job. All right. Okay, so think again. You want to have a clean reputation, right? It feels good, it tastes good, right? Don't let these little things spread. And when you we do our pledge, and then when you come up here, tell me one thing you learned today. We've got the peppermints for you. All right? So if everyone would stand up real quick, we're going to do this together. We're a leadership team. We're going to help each other on the journey of life, right? So everyone stand up, and we're going to say this pledge together. All right, Dylan's up, Kaylee's up, Vanessa's up. All right, stand up, please. Okay, now say it with me, okay? So you can put your hand up like you're saying a pledge, you mean it, right? Say, I choose, starting today. Say it with me. I choose, starting today, to be a responsible person and not a victim. To be a proactive person, not reactive and controlled by my emotions, but to take responsibility for my actions by always telling the truth and avoiding hurting others, and have a great day. You guys are awesome. Great job today. So tell me one thing that you learned about proactive responsibility on your way out. And you got your teaching sheets, right? So on the back side, now you're going to teach that back side, bring the front and back sign next week, right? So make sure you're taking those sheets with you. Don't leave them in your books or anything, right? And when is a good time to teach? Today, right? That's always kind of like the answer is today. Like, what's the question, Mr. Kane? Today, right, is the answer. Okay. Vanessa, one thing you learned today.